Welcome back, Age of Wonderites, to episode 4 of my How to Play Age of Wonders 3 video series. We're picking it up right where we left off. We've just lost our leader after we invaded a brigand camp. We won the fight but lost the leader, and as I was watching the video when editing it, I noticed how I realised my leader was being targeted. It had really low HP. For some reason, I charged poor Shiga into the enemy camp only to die. So if you take anything away from these video series, don't charge a near dead sorcerer into the enemy base. Okay, so once you have lost your leader, you will get this pop-up which pretty much defines the majority of things that happen once your leader dies. Your leader will respawn in your throne city after 3 turns. If you lose your throne city now, nowhere to respawn and you lose the game. Up until that time, our empire is in chaos, meaning we have a debuff. We are unable to cast any more spells and carry out any research. Now basically what this means is that we've got a minus 100 empire happiness, and empire happiness affects everything. So all of our units will have now only 25 happiness from the city, and all of our cities are also going to be down by 100, and that changes how the starting units, everything we recruit from a city starts off with that city's happiness, and everything we get from for example, a brigand camp, all those units start off with the morale happiness, so they'll start off with only 25. Okay, so the other things that your leader dying affects is your research. Research isn't abolished, it just stops and halts until your leader comes back. However, casting a spell is abolished, so as you can see this takes 2 turns. If we had started that last turn and then lost our leader, it would have been cancelled and we would have lost effectively that turn and the mana. Another very interesting thing that happens is the diplomacy screen. As you can see here, we've got a new icon, so you can see it from any character. You don't have to click the character to find out. And you also have this really cool background, very cosmos, very interesting. And this is really good for, say, small maps, or when you're going to invade the enemy territory. Check out the diplomacy screen, and as long as you have encountered the enemy, you will know that whether their leader is in the void or not. You have to have encountered the enemy race or faction to know that, though. Okay, so I think that covers all of the leader death stuff. Now we will go on to, let's see, we won a battle. So here's the battle report. The leader's dead. They've also won into the void. We got some level ups from that battle. That's how we can see this white section. If they didn't level up this battle, it would just be the medal sitting there. We also lost a guy. Dead. Okay, and we can replay, center back, all that same stuff, all that good stuff. Our allies finally starting to do some victories, and that's good. Okay, so I'm thinking about changing our tactics, guys. So if we mouse over this terrain, you can see it is called the Subterranean Fertile Plains. Now, subterranean is a prefix to fertile plains. Let's go to the Tomb of Wonders, type in movement, spell movement correctly. There we go. Now go into the game concepts, and you can see all the basic terrain types. None of these have the subterranean prefix. Basically, there's fertile plains with the prefix, it is increased by 2. Above ground, fertile plains is normally 4. And if we look at cave crawling, it reduces that increased movement cost by 2. Basically, it just balances things out. Now that sounds like a pretty crap ability, it just balances. But if you compare that to forestry, which only gives you an increase of 2 when you're walking through forests, or mountaineering, which almost negates the movement speed penalty on mountains, well, cave crawling does it on the entire underground map, not just in a little forest here and a bit of mountains over here. So you can really imagine the benefits that come from it, and it's on every single unit in the dwarven roster, so they'll all move pretty fast. So what that means is this guy's going to move slower underground than he does above ground, and I'm changing my tactics now. Originally I was scouting out around for my city because I was weary of there being some brigand camps around about, and now that we've lost our leader, we really need to be sure that we're not going to lose our city. So let's go back up to our scout. And since we're now focusing on looking for cities, and I know I've set up continents as our map, I'm pretty sure here's going to be water, because continents has water at the edges of the map. So if there was going to be a city, it'd be around about here. I don't think we can see city borders, so I'm going to go north. Let's do it. No movement points anyway, it doesn't matter. Let's go to our next scout. Okay, we've got 2 bridges. Assuming they're going to follow the same path as this, and these ones are going to lead into a little grotto. So let's keep it going. Okay, now typically you always end your turn looking at the most endangered unit. These guys are pretty okay. If anyone comes to fight them, they can handle themselves. Our boar is pretty safe on a bridge. So I think our endangered unit is this guy. We'll end our turn here. This way we can immediately take action. We can move our unit without any messing about. So let's go edge forward. Always edging forward. I was lucky. Also, if you notice, you can zoom out and move your units on the cloth map. You don't really get anything extra from it. It's just a nice little extra feature. Now, instead of moving down here and checking out this shroud, I'm going to move to the right, because I want to group up with my leader, my ally ASAP, check out if there's any cities in between us, because I want them, not my ally. Okay, in the previous video I did say you can retreat from fantastical locations for no cost. Now what I meant was enterable locations. We can enter, find out what's inside, and then, nope, can't take these guys on, run away. And if we select our guy, we will notice he has no negative modifier from running away from that fight. So it's just useful for finding out what's inside and coming back later with a bigger army. Now we'll go to our other scout. And what we need to do on this type of map, guys, because I've set it up to have no new cities, is we are going to be doing a lot of forts. And forts are basically the same as cities, except you can't build any buildings in them. They cast their own domain as well. So what we will do is come over to this little resource section next to us, drop down a fort, capture all 3 of these locations. Each will give us 10 gold. This will give us 10 mana. But we've got to wipe out the inhabitants first. So we're going to queue up the Builders Hall. And if you haven't played a game like this before, basically what this means is once this building has been completed, the game will auto purchase the Builders Hall and it will start being produced. And because we have the gold for it, that's perfectly fine. Now let's see, all our units are moved. We'll go again above ground to this guy, because I think he's our most valuable guy at the moment. We're looking for not only enemies, but also cities. So let's keep it going. Now we've also finished our storehouse. That's fantastic. Oh, and here we go. I think this is haste berries. It is. Fantastic. So we've got 24 movement points. We can spread out a little bit before we come back down. This is 4, 8 to get back. Let's see, that's 16 to get back. Let's do it. Boom, boom, boom. Now we have refilled our movement points to the maximum. That's fantastic. So we've got water. Let's keep going northward. I think that's good to go. Now we'll keep skirting the water until we find an empire. Let's keep going. Oh, okay, now check out this guy. If you've played the original games, you'll know him. He used to be called the Beholder. He's now the Watcher. And look at that eye pop. Wait till you see. This is one demented looking little guy. I don't know what these are. These little pink ooters. But oh, he's just so evil looking. He's fantastic. Let's see. Come on. Pop that eye. Do it. He's a really dangerous unit as well. He's tier 3, 72 HP, very nice resistance. He also has an ability called Doom Gaze. Now it's got pretty mediocre potency, and the way potency works is you factor it off against resistance. So 9 potency versus 9 resistance will equal 50% chance to pass. 9 potency versus 10 resistance will have a 5% modifier. So each point ahead, further up or further down, will change it by 5%. And there's the eye pop. Oh, it's just so evil. What is with this guy? Oh, good God. Okay, so let's close this. We can't do anything this turn. Next turn we get our leader back. Research will continue. We can start doing spells. And you're doing the Builder's Hall. Fantastic. Let's move our scout on. Again, we're always creeping forward. Now, because we have not researched basic seafaring, we cannot put our units into frigates. You can see there in the tooltip. Basically what that means is we cannot embark our units on the water. When on water, our units turn into a different type of ship called a frigate. So we can't do that because we haven't researched. We can't go on the water. Because this is a enterable location and not a mine, it has no units standing on top of it. We can go on top and just mosey on. So let's keep it going. Now let's see again. We'll go up to this guy. I have absolutely no idea what's up here. Basically, the reason I'm going to him is because people can come from any direction, whereas the boar has only got a couple of lines of sight, entrance marks, and we came through one of them. So keep it moving. Shiga Flamespin has returned. I heard a summon sound. That's kind of scary. Basically, if a unit is summoned in the fog of war, you will see it. You'll see the summon particle effect. Okay, so we've got you back. I'm just going to put you in guard because you can't reach up to this army anymore. And it'd be good to have someone defending the city. 4 turns will start producing some units to back you up. You notice this will take 5 turns. We're going to grow in 1 turn, so this will drop down as well, from 5 to maybe 4, maybe 3, and then the Builder's Hall will give us an extra 20 production as well. Also, because the city's happy, we get an extra 3 production. Oh yeah, can't beat them numbers. Okay, so we'll also summon a little Wisp Scout for us. Oh, okay, and in a previous video I called a Wisp the best Scout, and I had a guy ask me, why is the Wisp the best? So let's just type in Wisp and check him out. Static Shield and Phase are fantastic. Static Shield means whoever attacks him takes 5 damage and has a chance of being stunned, and we also have that shock resistance and physical protection. Now if we check out, let's say, the Rogue Scout, which is the Grimbeak Crows, he has a lot more HP, double the HP, first strike and night vision. And that's it. Projectile resistance is an extra 2 defense, but other than that, he doesn't really have any tech. A stack of 6 crows versus 6 wisps isn't great. We check out the Dreadnought unit. This is also one of the better ones. When he dies, he blows up, takes and deals 20 damage, 10 physical and 10 fire damage to everything in a 1 hex around him. Some of the other ones, let's see, is the Cherub. This is the Theocrat unit. He's resistant to mind control. He's devout, which synergizes extremely well with the Theocrat, but at the end of the day, that's about it. He deals 8 damage. He's got okay stats, okay defense, but nothing special. He can be taken out pretty quickly by a specialized unit. And what is the Warlord? Oh, okay. The Warlord has no scout. Instead, they have Raise Militia. And what this does is it's a spell. You target a city and it will summon an irregular unit at the cost of 100 people per turn. And the what's the Archdruid's one? It's summon wild animal, I think. Yes, it is. It is. So basically, you'll summon 1 random wild animal, whether it be the boar, which is a animal. Black Tusk Boar. It's a little bit higher tier though, or something like these badass guys, the Dire Penguin that can come from your summon wild animal, or the Fell Horse. That's spelt awful funny. There we go. Thank God. It's also one of your tier 1 animals, so you can get any of them plus a bunch of others. I'll not sit here and list them all for you, but if anyone wants me to just go through the Tome of Wonders, let me know. Okay, so up or down, let's go up. I'm sure there's no city down there. That's all we're looking for. Okie dokie. So we can end our turn. Let's keep things going at a pretty brisk pace. Okay. Now again, summon the scout after you've finished moving your hero. So yeah, that looks good. Let's just add our limit. Plop down the little scout. And move you forward. And we've got a in the oh fantastic. Okay. So this grayed out area is this an unknown city. We've met them. Okay, let's negotiate. We meet the outpost of Pestin, and they are goblins. Let's do a little bit of trespassing. So they have 3 units. Okay, so you must have true sight. You do, true sight. So we can see invisible and concealed units. Now these are goblins. Check out the Marauder's ability is Key of Concealment. So that means wherever this unit is underground, it's invisible until you have a unit with either true sight or a unit standing 1 hex away from him. So normally we would not see these guys. So I'm going to declare war now, because we won't be able to attack them straight away from a friendly status. And next turn we'll get our army down and take that city. I'm going to keep you on guard. And let's see, Nuxbrom has grown into a village. What a strange name for a city, Nuxbrom. Maybe it's Aztec or some sort of ancient American culture thing. That's what the current design of the Draconians are. Let me see, I'll show that off with the... these guys are very Aztecian, I guess, Aztecian, I don't know. Ancient American, we'll go with that. Okay, so we're good to end our turn again. Keep you away from them sallying out. Can only get there anyway, so we're now standing next to each other, and the adjacent hex rule says we're now safe. We'll just end for this turn. Hotkey is J, so just end that turn. Oh, and they did as well. Okay, there's not really any point controlling this fight. We'll do it anyway, for anyone who wants to see the Goblin Skewer in battle. It also gives me the chance to show off a new feature that came in this in the latest patch. We've now got an extra zoom level, so we can zoom in closer than ever before. Look at these guys. Oh, they look pretty awesome actually. Up closer. Okay, cool. So we've got our Wisp, and we should have these guys behind them. So let's just bring up our army, and I'm double right clicking to move faster. Someone said in the comments below or on the forums that it was cool how I was letting units move at a pretty nice pace instead of letting them move too fast, but I'll show it at a nicer pace once we get a little bit closer into battle. Okie dokie. And it's only 2 single units, so let's see, where can you move to? Okay, turn on the grid, so we can move to anything either side of those hexes. Let's do it. Also in the new patch, the scrolling speed has been increased rapidly, so I have decreased it a little bit, but it still is a little bit fast. This is now on only 10%, so I think that's quite an insane speed for 10%. We can't reach you at all. Anyone else ready to go? No, we're good. Let's end our turn, or attack with this guy. Now we'll save the mana. We've only 71, and we want that for summoning. And whenever we get that magic fist, which is one of these sorcerers' amazing combat spells, it deals something like 21 damage. Okie dokie. Now you're going to come in and get retaliatory free attack. I did say in a previous video that... oh, and to do a first strike too. Oh, they wiped them out. Brilliant. I did say in a previous video that going into guard and having your back to an enemy means it costs an action point to turn and face that enemy. It's actually just if you flank, they don't retaliate on that first attack. It doesn't cost an action point to turn and face the character. But that's it. That was the only mistake I made, I promise. Okay. Ooh, and we also have a brigand camp. So I guess this is a good time to show off the different flags. This is my flag, my banner. This is the defender flag, and it's grayed out because we're not at war with these guys. And this is another defender flag. They're not going to move off this tile, but we're at war with these independents. This is the, I guess, brigand or warmongering flag, or whatever you want to call it. Basically, they will wander around the map. They will invade cities, attack locations, take settlements, all that sort of stuff. So you got to look out for those guys. These guys belong to a city. That's what this wee castle icon is. I think that's all the ones we have here at the moment. So we'll continue moving you guys on down. So because again these guys are stacked next to each other, they're pretty safe from a stack of 4, even though they do have a tier 2. What do you have? No one near you. That's fantastic. One turn that'll be done. This has gone down to 3 now because we went to a bigger city size or settlement size. And I heard a summon sound here, so I'm awfully intimidated by what we're going to encounter. Okay, this is coloured. That means it's owned by somebody. It's not an independent. It's brown. It's the Emperor. Okay, let's be careful here. There's 2 guys in here. They're both ranged and behind a stone wall, and this is a huge city radius. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. What is mine? 3. Oh, the Emperor AI and its cheats. All the help it gets. Okay. Well, you're going to need it, buddy. Okay. We're not going to be able to take them, even though they're both tier 1 and my cavalry is tier 2. They're both ranged and behind stone walls. So let's skirt the edge of your domain. At least now we know where you are. And I am around about here. So if we change surface, we go to the exact point underground on the next layer. So this is where I am, the directly underground. For these guys, it is here. Ooh, that's right next to this settlement. If we can take this, we'll have a staging ground into their city. So we got to get this ASAP. Now let's see. We'll end our turn. No. Okay. Let's see. Can we end? We can't. Let's just auto that and get back to our cavalry. Don't want them getting killed. We really want these guys. They had a settler in there. Maybe they found some sort of raised city on the map. Good, good. So I think now we can just skirt around, see if there's any underground passages. We've researched Magic Fist. Let's see. Okay. We only have 20 casting points. Okay, we're going to go for Sorcery, which is going to increase our casting points by 10. Every level of Sorcery will increase them by 10. And there's a really important reason for this. So when we use combat abilities, when the leader is not participating in the battle, the cost is doubled. So it costs double the mana and double the casting points. And that double is 24. And we only have 20, so we won't be able to even use Magic Fist in a combat now that we've researched it. If we get that up, it'll be 30, and we'll be able to use it once per battle. Okay. So, no, I don't want to fight you. You guys are good. Oh, and good, we've got an enemy in the city hack, so I can show you a pretty cool modifier. Yeah, we'll control this, and we'll show off what a city looks like. A city siege. It looked pretty small. Yeah, it is. So they've got no buildings. It is so barren. All they have is this humongous wall. So I'll zoom out and show off the city. Okay. So as you can see, there's not a lot going on. And they're all sallying out. I don't know why. They do have a ranged unit. The Untouchables are an irregular. All irregulars have a single shot attack. So it must be an outpost or a village or something small, because all they have is this big mound of, a big poo city or something with some huts behind it. But as this grows, this entire area will get filled with buildings and whatnot, and you can use that as cover if your town gets breached. But okay, so let's see. We'll bring over our units. So if you want to see their run animations, I'll zoom in a wee bit closer. Those guys are creepy. And something I checked out for you guys, because I wasn't 100% sure, this guy's Evolvability when he reaches a gold level, he will evolve into one of those units listed in the tooltip, but his gold level disappears. So we're going to cast Berserk. We'll cast it on the Untouchables. Because, they resisted. That sucks bum. Okay. Yeah. So they lose their gold medal when they evolve, which really isn't very ideal. Because then you're just left with a normal tier 1, potentially a 1 in 4 chance of getting a tier 2, which is the Elder, your support unit. Okie dokie. Who do I want to shoot in the face? We can move a bit closer even. You don't have any pikemen. Again, I'm doing the double right clicks. We don't have any really new units to check out other than maybe the Untouchables, which have these like stink lines, poop lines or whatever coming off. So that's them wiped out. Nice, very nice. And we'll run in. We also have Overwhelm from their abilities, so these guys are shielded and will do that extra damage. And physical combat is done a little bit different to magical combat. Basically, look at this attack. It deals 12 damage, and when you factor it off against defense, you add 10 to the base damage, then you take away the defense, so that becomes 22 minus 9, which is what? 9 is 7, so it's 13 damage, and then you plus minus 20% to find the range, so it's what, 12, then you've got 10 to 14 or something like that. I'm terrible at math, guys. Any more movement points? Nope. So we'll just blast them in the face. And we'll get our wisp over, teleport in. It's kind of pointless. Okay, we're good to end our turn. Yep, let's do it. And stink lines coming off their dead bodies, that's pretty cool. We're going for our leader wiped them out and leveled up. That's fantastic. And also, with experience, your leaders will gain EXP passively. And I have the city, it is ours. So we conquered a city through war. We're on 27 minutes, guys, so I guess this can be the last thing I'll do for this video. We conquered it through war. That means it's occupied. We don't own it, and we don't gain any of the resources. So you can see we do have a mine, but we don't gain that because we're occupying. We haven't taken in their infrastructure and their environment and economy, so we have to absorb them. Once we finish absorbing the city, we then get 150 empire happiness for 10 turns for absorbing a city. So we'll absorb that. We get it. Are you sure you want to? Don't really have any other option. You can raise or plunder depending on whether you don't think you'll hold the city. We now have a new option, migrate to Draconians. It's an evil act. Basically what we would do, kick all the goblins out, they'd wander off, and then we would get a bunch of free Draconians from God knows where. They don't disappear from the city, and they would populate this town. It would become Draconian, all the buildings and all the art changes. You get empire-wide happiness bonus, but you also get a little bit of evil going on. Now, before we end this, I'll show this one other feature. You'll see this guy is inside our domain, and he's more than 2 hexes away from the center hex of the city. Now that means we get enemy in domain as a negative modifier, minus 200 happiness. That's huge. And if he had moved 1 hex closer and was on one of the central hexes of the city, we would have another modifier called enemy at the gates. These don't stack. You can only have 1 enemy in domain and 1 enemy at the gates at a time, but you can have 1 of each at the same time. So you won't have 2 enemy in domain or 2 enemy at the gates, but you can have 1 of each. So that's minus 400 in total for just having 1 army standing next to your city. And that's huge. If I had been that little bit of extra, we would have been the maximum amount of unhappy, severely increase our chances of having a rebellion. But hopefully he will leave next turn because we've got a pretty nice army. Put these guys guard. I think. Oh, and there's another. There's a monster's den, which is just the monster equivalent of a brigand's den. Instead of summoning guys, it summons spiders and other nasties. So our Warlord is leveled up. Basically, I shouldn't say, but I will. A Warlord has the best buffing stuff for a stack. So he has defense command. All the guys are going to gain +1 defense. I guess we'll go for that. But he also has a bunch of other things at higher levels, like ranged command. They all do +1 range damage and things like that. So we'll go for that. And what do we have? We've got 12 defense already. Resistance costs a little bit more because we're a Warlord and we're supposed to have that whole archetype of being a tank, not a anti-mage. So I'm thinking about going for the hit points because we're only on 55. Rounded off at a nice 60. Okay, doke. May as well end our turn. Okay, Pestin. I mean, what's with these names? So what I will do just before we end our turn is rename our settlements. And as a little personal thing, I like to name my capital something a little bit obvious, like capital, or you know, home, or you know, base, whatever. My favorite one is Center 1. That's a Master of Orion reference, if anyone knows. It is the where all the races originate from, all the known races anyway. There's a couple that, you know, there's theorized in the Master of Orion 3 game manual. Some big baddies put them all there, just like the Orions did with the second races. Goblin Town, yeah. That's a Middle-earth Lord of the Rings reference. Okay, so 3 turns will absorb them. We've finished the Builder's Hall. We're now doing... We've just started this and it's 2 turns because of the Builder's Hall, so it's an extra turn for free. And then we can start doing some nice proper combat units. Alright guys, so we'll end it here. We'll pick it up in the next video where we'll start expanding. Hopefully get a settler or a builder out. I'll show you a little tip about placements for your forts. And yeah, we'll continue camping here. Expand slowly, have a roaming defense instead of a second army. And we'll find out what's going on with this Drugal? Yes, Drugal the Stout Emperor AI. He's only got a very small army guarding that. We might be able to get a little sneak attack in. 31 minutes, guys, even better than the last one of 36. We'll leave it here and pick it up in the next one. See you soon.